So we are reading Dr. Faustus drama. When we are writing Dr. Faustus, the title of the drama is a complete book. It's a complete book. So we are underlining it. When we're typing, we have to italic it. Okay, make it italic. And then this is the central character of Dr. Faustus. It's written by Christopher Marlowe. It was published in 1604. It's from 17th century literature though, but the writer is from 16th century, and he's a prominent figure of that period. So that's why we're reading it from Elizabethan and Jacobean period, especially from Elizabethan period. And I say that Elizabethan period is called the golden age of English literature because art and paintings, every form of art actually and literature flourished in this period because Queen Elizabeth facilitated the writers. Okay, she actually made arrangements for more and more theaters. So there were more theaters, so more scripts were needed, where the writers got a chance to write more. Okay, so art actually flourished in this period. We will read why this is a golden age of literature. What did she do for literature? Okay, what was special? And we know that Shakespeare was a product of that period. Okay, and also Christopher Marlowe. Okay, so we know this picture, right? So we completed loads of classes with this picture. Okay, so the main characters, the first one is our protagonist, Faustus, Dr. Faustus. Doctor is his title because he was a great scholar. Okay, and then full name is John Faustus, John Faustus. We found this name in the agreement with great Lucifer, remember? So main characters, first one is Faustus, and then come Mephistopheles. You know him. He is the servant of Lucifer. Lucifer is the prince of hell and the king of the devils. Okay, and then comes the chorus. Chorus is, I say that a group of people say the same thing at the same time in the same tone. Okay, that's chorus. In Coke Studio songs, you will see the chorus. They're singing behind, singing the same tone, same lyrics, same same time. Okay, and then we got an old man who actually comes to take Faustus back to the Christianity. Okay, to God and heaven. Okay, then we see two angels, good angel and bad angel. I said that you can imagine in the movies we see that one red with horns. Okay, a creature is hovering here and saying something bad. Okay, giving bad ideas, bad ulta-palta buddhi deya je public gula, thik ache? So we can say that this is bad angel, and good angel is a white figure we see in the movies. Okay, asking the man to do something good. Okay, and then we see Wagner. Wagner is the student and servant of Dr. Faustus. And 7 deadly sins. Can you name the 7 deadly sins? Do you remember the sins? Tough thing. Pride, wrath, gluttony, sloth, envy, lechery, pride, poetry. Okay, that's the 7 deadly sins. Okay, we will read about 7 deadly sins in next slides. And then comes Walls and Cornelius, 2 German people and friend of Dr. Faustus, who taught him necromancy and provided the books of magic. Okay, and then comes horse courser, who does business with horses. And then the scholars 1, 2, 3, and different time we see different scholars. Some of them are coming to feast, some of them are coming to talk to them, and also his chamber fellow, I mean roommates. And then comes Emperor Charles. Emperor Charles was the emperor of Germany at that time. He visited his place where he brought Alexander and his girlfriend. Do you remember? The mistress and Alexander. And then Duke of Vanhold, where he bought grapes from the other hemisphere. Do you remember the scene? Okay, so these are the main characters. I'm not focusing on much because that's all we had read. Okay. Then comes, what is the meaning of synopsis? What is synopsis? He be like, কথা বলি না ওইটাই ভালো, বললে খালি ভুলভাল বলি. Try, say again. Synopsis. A summary, gist. Oh my gosh. Yasin is here. First class and last for this semester. He is from weekend. He is from weekend. Okay, our pride, who doesn't join any classes. Welcome to the class. Okay, so let me tell you a summary of the text that we have already completed for the students this is the first time joining classes. Okay, we do care about you guys. Anyways, how they started. He said that now I'm a scholar person, everyone knows me in the Germany, so I want to study something else. I want to study something, I will reach the end of that study, end of that art. And he said at first that I want to study what was the first thing? Aristotle's logic, which is what? Philosophy. Exactly. At first he thought I should study philosophy, and then he said that I have already attained the end of this study, so I have completed this study, so it's not for me now. And then he said I want to be a doctor. Okay, physician they say. And then he says that already I am a big doctor, I should study more if I can give life to people who are dead, or if I can make a person live forever. Okay, but I can't do it, no one can do it, so I will not study any longer what should I say, medicines. Okay, and he says that already my bills, my prescriptions are kept like the medical documents. Okay, already I'm that much famous, I have helped the whole city to escape the plague through my medicines, so I have already done that, I don't have to study this medicine anymore. And then comes law. He says law is the profession that's for the people who are money minded, so I don't want to study that. And then he says I want to study divinity. Okay, what is meaning of divinity? Theological stuffs. Okay, religion, in short it's religion. But he said that there is a problem in divinity. What was the problem? Do you remember the line? It was said for divinity. Yes, the reward of sin is death. So he said, maybe I have the line here, this one, the second one. Okay, he said that if we say that we have sin, okay, he said that the reward of sin, like if I sin, then I will be punished, don't talk, I will be punished with what? Death. Okay, but there is a problem with that. If I do not do anything, if I live a pure life, even then I will die. So he's saying if we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves. All of us have some sins, and there is no truth in us. Why then be like we must sin, and so we consequently die? Yes, we must die an everlasting death. So he is saying that one day I will die. Either I do sins or not, I will die. So why not I do some sins and then I die? Okay, this is a satanic, thought. If any one of us have this kind of thought, then we should ask forgiveness to the God. Okay, because this is totally misinterpretation of religious verses. Okay, okay, then he said that now I need something that will take me, that will teach me something else. So he was looking for something to study, and he found that the lines, circles and the structures and the figures of necromancy, the black magics or magics, that is charming him. Okay, so he decided that I will study magic now. It's not normal magic, okay? Necromancy. And then he asks Wagner. Who was Wagner? Student and servant of Dr. Faustus, to call Waltz and Cornelius, who are already famous. Kukhato Ingreji ki? Like positively famous now, negatively notorious in Germany for their reputation of being magicians, okay, black magicians especially. So he actually called them, and Waltz and Cornelius said that it's not a big deal, you are a scholar, you know a lot, already you know about astrology. So if someone knows about astrology and lines and maths, it will, and also divinity, then it will help you a lot to learn necromancy in a shorter period. Okay, they gave him some books to read and said that your wits, our knowledge, and these books, three things. What did he say? Your wits, Dr. Faustus, you are a witty person, so you have wits, we have books, and we have experiences. This will make us the most powerful people, three people of the world. Okay, and they said that you should study this, and Dr. Faustus felt that yes, I want to study this. He was convinced, and then comes the two figures. Who are the two figures? The good angel and bad angel. Good angel says that Dr. Faustus, don't read this book. If you read this, then God will be angry with you. Okay, God's heavy wrath will be upon you. So don't look at this book. This book will tempt you. The bad things that tempts us, the world, luxuries, okay, powers that actually tempt us. So good angel said that you should not focus on this. Don't read this. Focus on something else. Focus on Bible, scriptures. Read the scriptures. And then bad angel says, think about the wealth and power you will have if you practice necromancy. And he was convinced with the word wealth, power. Okay, and he starts at the midnight. He starts to conjure. What is the meaning of conjure? Call on spirits. Okay, bring spirits. So he made a circle. On that circle, he wrote the name of God, but it was not written properly. It was written in anagrammatized form, like it was rearranged. Okay, it was something else. And then he wrote the name of holy saints. He wrote the name of prophets and stars, made the figure of stars and all. And he conjured. He told the spells which will bring the spirits. And Mephistopheles come. He said that you look ugly, go and change your shape. And then again Mephistopheles comes, and Mephistopheles asks, what do you want? And he says that I want your, what should I say, you will be my assistant for the rest of my life. And Mephistopheles says it's impossible because I am the servant of great Lucifer, the prince of hell. Do you remember this term? Two terms, prince of hell and the king of the devils. Okay, and he was punished by God. Okay, and he was in heaven, but he was extremely proud and didn't behave nicely with God, and that's why God punished him and threw him to hell. Okay, and then Dr. Faustus said, okay, go to your master and say that I will sell my soul to your masters in return that he will live me 4 and 20 years, which means 24 years. I will live in my pleasure. I will have you in my side as a servant. You will be here with me. You will do whatever I want, and whatever I want you to do, whatever I want you to tell me. Okay, and 24 years. After 24 years, my soul will be yours. Okay. So who gave the proposal? The devils or Dr. Faustus? Dr. Faustus. You have to remember that. If I ask who is to blame for his damnation, you have to give me some logical answers. Okay. And then what happens? Mephistopheles goes, and Lucifer says that go and make a pact with his blood. And he comes back and says that if you write me a pact that you are giving your soul, after 24 years we will take it. So only then we can do something, and you have to write that with your very authentic blood. And he cuts his arm, and with that blood starts to write the bond, and at that moment the blood congeals. Okay, so there is a line, the blood congeals, and I can write no more. I said this line is really important. Okay, so suddenly the blood is frozen, and it thickens, and they cannot write with that. And Foster said, Mephistopheles says that I will bring some fire which will make it flow again, and the fire comes, it flows again. Dr. Foster writes the bills. There were 5 conditions. Do you remember the 5 conditions? You have to for your exams, the 5 agreements, okay, the articles of your agreements. And then said that I, John Faustus, is giving this soul to great Lucifer, that if the articles of this bond are not violated, then after 24 years Lucifer can take my whatever I have, like flesh, blood, soul, and my goods and everything, to wherever they want. That was the bond. And after that, Mephistopheles always stays there. Dr. Faustus asks about who made the world, what is heaven, what is hell, okay, where are you damnation, who are the spirits with you. So these are the things, and then they go for a long tour around the world. Okay, they visit different kingdoms, and then they go to the spaces where they see the stars and their movements and how they function. Okay, and then when he comes back, then the scholars, his friends, ask him about different stuffs about science and space and world, and he answers all of them properly, and this is how he became famous throughout the world in a very short term. Okay, and then what happens? Charles, do you remember Charles? Emperor Charles, okay, Charles of Germany calls him to meet him, and Charles was mesmerized with his magical powers, and then says that, please, I have a wish, I want to see the great Alexander the Conqueror and his mistress. And then Dr. Faustus brings some spirits, some shadows, and asks Charles not to touch it. Okay, and then again Duke of Vanhul invites him and says that the wife wants to eat what? Grapes, and he brings the grapes from the other hemisphere. Okay, he says that the world is divided in 2 circles. So when it's summer with us, on the opposite circle it's some winter with them, and when it's winter with us, the opposite circle is facing summer at that time. So I have brought, with some spirits, I have brought the grapes from that summer region. Okay, that's India. Specifically it was India. This is where we get about a bit vibe of colonization. Okay, and then what happens? Different stuffs happens. We see that he cheats horse courser, right? He charms him, and he cheats for only $40. Here we see the greeds, and then finally we see a scene where Wagner, the servant, says that my master, maybe he will die very soon because he has written everything on my name. Okay, that was money, wealth, and everything. And then he supposed that if this person is about to die, then how can he be feasting with other scholars? Okay, and then the scholars, the friends, wants to see Helen. He brings Helen, and then the old man comes and says that you should repent, you should go back to God. In the meantime, he tries several times to go back, but he couldn't because Mephistopheles and others were torturing him. Okay, and then in this phase he says that I should definitely go back to God, and he tries to suicide, but the old man says that suicide is also prohibited in your religion, you cannot do that, God will be angry, instead repent, then nothing can touch you. And then comes Mephistopheles and tortures him. He was afraid at that moment, and he said that okay, I'm writing the bill again if you want, but don't kill me. And then he says that I want to have Helen as my mistress. Here we can see the lechery. Okay, last. And then what happens? He was afraid. His face color changed because of the torture and tension of hell. And then the scholars asked what happened, and he says everything to 3 scholars, scholar 1, 2, 3. Okay, they are their roommates, chamber fellows. They live in the same house actually. And then he says that I have sold my soul for 24 years, and this night ends the 24, and they will take me in the midnight. Whatever happens, don't come to this room. If I live, then I will meet you tomorrow. Okay. And at the last moment, if you see the movies or anything, you will see that Dr. Faustus tries to name God, and Mephistopheles tortures, and then he falls for prayer, and then again tortures. And there is a line, maybe I didn't bring it. So he was so desperate to be saved from this that he says that these are the lines that he says when he is desperate to live a bit longer. He says that, Faustus, oh Faustus, now hast thou but one bare hour to live, and then thou must be damned perpetually. Stand still, you ever moving spheres of heaven, that time may cease. So if the universe stops, time will be stopped. Okay, so he is hoping for something like that. Midnight never come, fear nature's eye, which means sun. Rise, rise again, and make perpetual day. If the sun rises, it will be day, it will never be midnight, and the devils will never come back. Okay, or let this hour be but a year. He's saying that I have 1 hour left. I wish this 1 hour will be a year, or a month, a week, or just a day. I want to live at least for 24 hours, that Faustus may repent and save his soul. We can see the desperate thoughts of Faustus to be saved from the devils. And then nothing happens, nothing could save him, because God was really angry with him. Because time and time God was sending different agents to make him repent, but he rejected all of them. And at this very last moment, it's no time to repent. Okay, and these are the last lines said by Faustus. My God, my God. So he is seeing the God. God is extremely angry with him, looking at him fiercely with wrath. Look not so fierce on me, adders and serpents, let me breathe a while. Ugly hell, gape not, come not Lucifer. He is saying that do not open ugly hell, and Lucifer do not come. I will burn my books. The good angel said that you should not look at that book, and right now he is saying that I will burn my books, I will not read them. Oh, Mephistopheles. So this is where ends the life of Dr. Faustus and our drama. Okay, that's it. So it was a good story according to me. How many of you enjoyed the story? Like, we have read every single, important details of the book. Okay, how was the experience? One of the wonderful stories. And it's a good thing that first big books, large text you were reading, that's Dr. Faustus, which you actually enjoyed. That's a good start. Okay? Okay. কত মিনিট হয়েছে? অফ করো না। অফ করে দেন, অফ করে দেন।